Live from the rinks in Hauppauge, New York, we welcome you to this special presentation of Stony Brook Seawolves Hockey Live right here on YouTube TV, streaming live on Long Island with Trevor Magnani. I'm Mike Calandra, gathered here for what should be a very wonderful afternoon, and it's great to have you back, Trevor. I missed you last night.
Yeah, duty called last night, but I was able to catch some of the game last night. But tonight is a special night. It's senior night, and we get to thank our seniors and give them one final show here at the rinks in Hauppauge as the Seawolves take the ice. Now the parents on the roster this year, we have 11 seniors that we're going to be saying goodbye to at the end of this season. And it has been an emotional roller coaster of a season, to say the least. And this team is going to look very different next year.
It absolutely will, and we already had some insight on that, both talking with head coach Chris Garofalo and the Niagara University head coach Tom Moradian. Next year's looking like it's going to be a strong season for these ECHL teams. A lot of recruits coming into the picture.
From a league that was that Stony Brook was looking to leave at some point to go independent, now is looking to be a pretty strong league going forward. So I'm looking forward to this Seawolves sticking around and continuing to compete in what is going to be a very strong division next year. Without further ado, let's toss it down to PA announcer Jim Maritato for the festivities.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, our stars, for all your hard work. One, graduating seniors who have put so much time, care, and passion into this program, and especially their studies. First up, graduating with a degree in business management, forward Michael Palmer. Congratulations, Michael. Next, graduating with a business management degree, senior forward, Sean Greenville. Next, graduating senior with a degree in biology and pre-med, forward Philip Pontiac. Congratulations. Next up, graduating with a degree in business management, senior forward Michael Nowinski. Congratulations, Mike. Next, graduating with a business management degree, model, forward senior Jesse Edwards. Graduating, guess what? With a business management degree, defenseman Matthew McDermott. Congratulations. Next up, graduating with a business management degree, senior defenseman Dominic Malfetto. Graduating with a master's MBA in business management, goaltender Thomas Sullivan. Graduating with a communications degree, assistant captain, defenseman, Robert SBU. Congrats and Rob. Graduating with a degree with business management and focus in finance, and a minor in mathematics and statistics, defenseman and assistant captain, Gavin Anderson. Congratulations, Gavin. Next, graduating with an MBA in business management, forward, Connor Dempsey. With a business degree, your captain, Devin Pepe. Congratulations, Devin. But before we finish our captains, there's someone I want to give special thanks to, and that's our athletic trainer, Penelope Grace. Penelope's been with the program for a very long time. Literally the glue that keeps this team together. And we want to wish her the best of luck if she's not back this year. We want to say thank you so much for the hard work. Thank you, Penelope. All you units, we want to wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Congratulations and thank you for everything you've done for this program. Best of luck, guys. Let's put this happy.
Congratulations to our graduating seniors. Gentlemen, you will forever be remembered as heroes.
Alrighty. With the entire ceremony complete, it is time now to play hockey. The Niagara Purple Eagles have taken the ice to get a little pre-skid in, as the Seawolves have done the same to get the lactic acid out of their legs after that long ceremony. And we're ready to play some hockey here tonight, folks.
Indeed we are, Trevor, and this is bound to be an interesting competition. Only one could imagine if last night's big loss for Stony Brook has fueled some motivation in them to change the outcome by the time this one ends.
Well, before we even get started, we have starting lineups still.
I know, it's a lot of things are happening. Scenery and goal for Niagara University as Johan Nyborg will get the starting nod for Grant Zell. Looking for some huge redemption tonight. Pre-game festivities have come to a close, and now it's time to get down to business, as Tiezzo would say. I had to sprinkle that in there. I couldn't help myself.
You mean Tiesto?
Wait, what'd you say?
Tiesto.
Tiesto. What, did I say Tiezzo?
Yeah.
Oh, I got the S and the T
Oh,
mixed
no.
up. Ah.
No matter how you pronounce it, it is indeed time to start this game.
I'll have to get some redemption later on in life for that one. But if there's someone that is aiming for much-needed redemption today, it's that man in goal for the Seawolves, Matvey Kazakov. Not the start he wanted to have last night. Will it be a different result by the time this one comes to a close? Let's find out and see. The face-off draw for this senior day matchup begins with Jesse Edwards against the captain, Christopher of Niagara. Niagara finding themselves in trouble early as Stony Brook makes their presence felt immediately in the zone as this one spanked off the wall. Barnich takes this one, feeds it in front, just missing the finish on that chance. Was the impending senior Edwards, the impending graduate Jesse Edwards. First stop of the game made by Nyborg, as this one is knocked wide of the cage. Niagara can't clear it out. Big keep there by DiStefano. Walking in with a chance, and it's swallowed up in the leather of Nyborg.
2 quick shots on goal here for the Seawolves. A good start for them. The Seawolves in white and red trim, skating left to right on your screen of choice. The Niagara Purple Eagles in the black with green and purple accents, and we'll get to talk about those later in the broadcast.
Absolutely.
Skating right to left.
An amazing story behind that. As this one is backhanded in front off the pad of Nyborg. And it does get skipped out of the zone this time. Stony Brook finding themselves in the neutral zone after first few minutes of zone possession inside Niagara's territory, as the Purple Eagles trying to make their way into the other zone. It's a little back and forth battle happening so far at center ice before Stony Brook makes their way back into familiar territory. This one is launched ahead, nearly got cut off that time by Minerva. There's a chance that just misses off the stick of number 23, Devin Sanders. And there he is, down low, a workhorse, and has been acclaimed as he's gotten a lot of acclaim from his head coach. And we'll get to more on Sanders in a few, as there's a man who had himself quite the night, Coulter, and he rumbles in with a big check in the corner. This will not go for icing as Niagara resets.
2 linesmen having a disagreement on the call there, but the far one waving that one off.
Coulter just missing the stick of Robinson. This will go for icing, no doubt.
And that one was 2 for 2. Both linesmen agreed on that one.
And as I was about to touch down on, Devin Sanders came into this weekend with a team high of 14 goals. He still leads in that department, now with 15, courtesy of the one he potted home last night.
That was a bit of an awkward face-off. We had a Niagara player on the
Breakaway
wrong side.
chance, Bun, save Kazakov. Not this time, the Iron Curtain says to number 9.
I'm not crazy, right? There was a Niagara player on the Seawolves side of that face-off.
I'm just as perplexed as you are, Trevor. Manning along the half wall. Look out there. Sent to the ice that time by Minerva. Schneidmiller sending this one on net off the shoulder of Kazakov as Stony Brook tries to escape the zone carefully. Schneidmiller throws it just wide of the net. Now Minerva has a chance to exit the zone, or he'll loft it out instead. Mancini leaning in to keep a hold of the possession. Plays it over to DiStefano, able to break free from Gilbert, and here he comes, DiStefano. Launches this one from distance, and it's covered up by Nyborg.
A bit of a different start here today. I was watching the broadcast last night, and it was a bit of a slow start for the Seawolves.
Absolutely. I believe the first goal came, my recollection. The first goal came with 6.5 minutes left in the first, so could we be heading towards that same territory? I have a feeling it's going to be awfully different with the way the pacing has gone so far. But don't take my word for it. We'll just have to let the game play itself out.
We'll have to see.
Exactly. Rainville trying to spike that one home to no avail. Here comes Andrioli. Picked up an assist last night, looking for another one. Sliding save made by Kazakov as a crowd builds up in front of the cage. This one doesn't affect the Seawolves whatsoever as Pearson recollects and resets. This one is fanned on by Davies as he tried to get it ahead, but nevertheless, Niagara keeps on moving in the zone. Rito rumbling in to keep it alive in Stony Brook's territory, as this one is propelled out of play, and
that's a souvenir.
Yep, one lucky fan taking that home.
That's one you don't got to pay for.
Yes, sir.
And unfortunately, one not eligible for the Chuck-a-Buck.
And now Stony Brook will try to get back in form here, which they do. Pepe exploding on the scene, trying to get that one across. He stays in the zone as Pepe does his job at keeping it alive at the point. Pepe down low from a tough angle, rings that one off the outside of the net. Barnich guides this one back to Fest, who gets it over aggressively to Boris.
Nice keep.
Nice near keep made by Boris. Barnich walking in, trickling chance. That got a piece of Rita, who is bowled over and shaken up. That may have caught his hand or the wrist, judging by where he is holding the area of discomfort.
They definitely caught him somewhere, and the Seawolves managed to ice the puck in the interim. I'll bring the puck down to the left of Kazakov.
Fortunately for Rita, he escapes from insults to injury, as I guess that's the right word to say, insult to injury.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting mixed up with words here. It's been a lot going on. Drive from the top, head save, Kazakov. Schneidmiller waiting at the top. This one is played over to the far side. Dean Taylor in front, save, rebound, score. Devin Sanders, number 16, and it's 1-0.
And that is just not good coverage in front of the net there by the Seawolves. Rebound pops out in the low slot there, and this is an easy garbage cleanup goal there. It's good hard-working hockey here from Niagara to put that one and go up 1-0 here. Not in the shots even at 4.
Head coach Tom Moradian, who we got a chance to talk to in pregame warm-ups, praised Devin Sanders as the most gifted player this program has ever had. And it's clearly paying off in more ways than one, as his team once again strikes first this weekend on Long Island. Drive from the top, Schneidmiller fended off that time off the blocker of Kazakov, and the rebound almost got batted out of the air that time by one. Schneidmiller keeping the pressure on Stony Brook. Now Mofetto trying to work this one out of the zone, which he does. Schneidmiller, quick puck movement being displayed here. Bunn, Johnson, Robinson front, and Mofetto gonna say, excuse me, don't hit my goaltender.
And that's it. It's been a relatively clean series so far. I mean, not too much really to complain about. Two teams playing hard hockey.
And speaking of hard hockey, if there's one man that was in the midst of all of it, it's number 76, William Kormanek. Although he would love to get on the score sheet, as he would usually be on in most cases, last night was just not his night. Found himself taking a 5-minute major penalty near the end of the contest, and a game that nearly lost control.
Speaking of penalties, we got our first one here up against Niagara here.
Stony Brook getting their 7th power play opportunity this weekend. They had 6 last night alone.
Well, let's see if today brings some new luck for the Seawolves here. Checking from behind is the call here on Niagara.
And it's Davies who will take a trip to the sin bin for these 2 minutes. For these next 2 minutes.
And of course, this power play brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates. They definitely got their ad time worth last night.
Oh yes, we did. And there's a steal, short-handed chance here for Sanders, busting into the net, and he collides with Kazakov. Obviously no intent done there by Sanders against Stony Brook's goalie, and
this power play is over as
wow, yep.
Referee Peterkin is going to call hooking on the Seawolves.
believe Matt Minerva.
Minerva is not happy about the call.
Yep, he was caught red-handed, and he has a few words. Head official making sure things don't become a repeat.
Right now. Stony Brook bench isn't even happy with this call either. Trying to get an explanation from the referee.
Well, that just made Chris Garofalo's mood from happy to sour in a matter of moments.
Take another look at the. Yeah, I don't know what.
I mean,
the stick doesn't even make.
Well, let's see. Right.
No, it doesn't even come parallel. That's a bad call. The stick doesn't even come. Oh man, that's.
Thank God this isn't the Super Bowl, right?
Like, his stick's on the ice here. Now, mind you, you can rewind the video on YouTube here. His stick is basically on the ice the entire time, never comes parallel to the player, which would necessitate the hooking call.
And 2 straight Sundays, and controversy takes center stage.
I don't know if we call the one on Super Bowl that much of a controversy.
I mean,
it was a hold, let's be honest. Even when the player in the press conference said, yeah, I was hoping to get away with it. But that's,
you live and you learn, Barnage.
But that's maturity. That's knowing you did something, you risk it for the biscuit, and sometimes you don't.
And now we get another arm up in the air, and we got another penalty being signaled.
Referees are having none of it today.
Yep. Jesse Edwards joins the party.
The scoreboard system getting a workout today.
Roughing for 2 minutes against the impending senior graduates.
And it's a party in the Seawolves penalty box. 2 goaltenders and 2 players.
It's funny, and we talked about this off the air. There's a lot of, when it comes to the players, there's a lot of hostility.
Now we have conferencing happening here. Rubino's going over to the Niagara bench.
It's funny, we touched down on this in pregame, talking about the coaches and just the ECHL in general. You would think with all the hostility that the players experience on the ice in constant battles, that it would get to the coaches and somehow cause a rift, but that is not the case whatsoever.
That's the unique thing about hockey. The players will be at each other's throats, knives out,
but there's that
and then the buzzer
respect.
Sounds, and they can shake hands.
I find it astonishing. The coaches, they have this mutual respect for each other, and to me, I find that so enamoring.
Well, that's the thing, is you gotta have the right kind of short-term memory in hockey.
Exactly.
You gotta be able to forget the things that are gonna really get you to do something stupid.
Of course.
But be able to learn from the things that caused you to get there.
It's worth noting, head coach Chris Garofalo and Tom Aradian, they become, I could say, close friends. Had some Chinese dinner last night, actually. That one is whacked away off the glove of Kazakov, and it's cleared out.
One thing is for sure, the Stony Brook penalty kill tonight has been on point so far, as Niagara gets a full change here of their forward unit. And they're going to have a brief 5-on-3 for a few seconds.
Rita lofts this one in deep. Kazakov playing this one out of his goal. Has to get back in position as he couldn't clear it out of the zone. Mancini now in a tight battle and long from the corner to the top as Christopher able to break away from him. Coulter deals it back to Christopher. Crowd gathering up in front. That one gets blocked there. Screen being provided by Manning as this one is played off the boards. Nearly gets taken away by Zerilli, trying to get a hold of it all together. Can't do it as Robinson moves in with a chance. It trickles wide of the cage. Manning Plays it back to the point. Coulter risks this one back down low. And this will do it for both penalties, which have been successfully killed off by the Seawolves.
That's dodging a major bullet there for the Seawolves as they found themselves quickly in penalty trouble.
Here's Fess. Save made off the stick of Nyborg. Edwards with the reverse check. And McDermott, head full of steam coming in with a hit of his own. And that's one thing that has stood out to me so far this week in Stony Brook, mitigating power play chances. Oh, watch out! Davies.
That should have been a trip there, but
luckily everyone escapes from further damage. Davies coming in like a freight train in all areas of the ice.
You don't like seeing those leg-on-leg hits there. You got a lot of momentum, and those ligaments can go real quick.
Yep.
And Niagara is being denied the change here as they were the cause of the net going off.
Well, obviously, no love has been lost with how last night's game played out. As the physicality continues to stay at a high level as this one is wafted off the glass out of the zone. McDermott. Stony Brook trying to exit the zone here. Barnich plays it over to the other side. It skips off a stick. Edwards in close proximity with McDermott, or Fess in this case, causing trouble for the Seawolves before it gets cleared away. Schneidmiller knocks this one back in as it's settled back down by the Seawolves.
Bunch of miscues here from the Seawolves trying to get out of their own zone and can't get through the neutral zone. And what a surprise. We have this is our fourth or fifth penalty of the game.
Interference for 2 minutes. And this time it's Niagara heading to the penalty kill.
I know we got the Sunday matinee, but we also got a time slot, folks.
Oh, Rinks is not going to be too pleased if this one doesn't end on schedule.
They're demoing the rinks tomorrow anyway. In case you didn't know, they're doing construction of the rink starting tomorrow, actually. So,
don't worry. I already mentioned it like 5 times on the air yesterday.
Oh, so this will be one of the last high-end games happening at the rinks. As we have another penalty. Man.
Obviously, damage control is paramount here on Senior Day. Roughing the call, that negates the latest power play for Stony Brook. We're back to 4-on-4.
Jim Aratato earning his paycheck tonight as he is clocked up, what is it, the 6th penalty tonight? I've lost track of it. We're not even 10:30 through the first period.
All I know is that Stony Brook was going to be on the power play for a 3rd time, but now they just took their 4th penalty of the contest. You had the first one by Minerva, followed by another one. Or was this their 3rd?
I think this is their 3rd.
3rd, yeah.
Because they had 2 right back to back.
Yeah. I don't think any of us saw this happening. I mean, we knew this was going to be a physical, feisty affair, considering how last night's game ended, but I don't think we expected the amount of penalties to be handed out this early on.
Well, that's the referees knowing they got to keep control. So
Taylor
trying to put an end to it real quick.
That one got slapped over the net as Malfetto and the Seawolves able to prevail. Minerva, Cormanek. Heavy body presence being displayed here for the Seawolves front. Minerva, nice play there to Van de Zover. Van de Zover, Minerva trading positions. Minerva tried to feed it in front to no avail as Van de Zover.
I don't know how that wasn't a hook or a trip, but
he was entangled.
Referee says play on.
He was entangled with Dean Taylor. 2 players caught in combat there. Everyone bunching up along the half wall. Who is going to kick it out of that scrum along the boards? And evidently it was the Seawolves. So there they are, trying to reset. And they'll regroup. New reinforcement on the ice for head coach Chris Garofalo's squad as this one lifted in back in the zone of Niagara.
4-on-4 hockey, you want to use the space available to you. Try not to just dump the puck aimlessly.
Devin Sanders all the way to the goal, and it's stopped by Kazakov.
Because that opportunity right there was caused by almost an aimless dump down the ice just to try to get a change and try to create some space, but it just turned it over into a Niagara scoring opportunity.
And other than the playmaking abilities and goal-scoring prowess that Sanders had, that right there, what he just exuded, that is the thing that was emphasized by head coach Tom Moradian when he gave him praise as the best player he's had in this program. With that much speed, he was able to keep the puck under control and stay on his feet and still get a scoring chance against Stony Brook. Boris in the other zone. That one is stopped by Nyborg. As this one is banked off the boards, Thurston trying to guide this one back over to his intended target. Taylorford plays it back to the point. Fadeaway try off the glove of Kazakov. Gilberts couldn't connect there with his option as Barnich will safely play this one back in the other zone. Galinsky staying on the hunt, avoiding disaster down low. Zarilli takes a bump there from Coulter. DiStefano awaiting at the top as the battle looms down low. Another play, bounced in front, just caroming wide of the net. Stony Brook staying relentless here as Niagara is not able to clear it out.
Or even up.
Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Dempsey twists it, tried to twist it back in front, took a hit there in the process as this one is knocked out of play.
Niagara will sky that one out of the rink, and we'll get a face-off deep in the Niagara zone. With 6:31 to go, shots on goal, Niagara 9, Stony Brook 7. And Stony Brook's been getting their looks. They just got to finish.
Absolutely. There have been a lot of centering chances that could have connected, but just haven't executed at the right spots. Here's a possible 2-on-1 chance. That's if Kozitsky can get back as this one is sent wide by Gilberts. Frustrated, missing on that chance. He scored last night.
So it might be jammed in equipment somewhere, or it might have fallen out of the rink. And it's the latter.
Yes.
Outside the zone it goes. Assistant captain talking to one of the referees, trying to find out what's going on with the consistency of calls tonight. Van de Zilver doesn't look happy with the result of that conversation.
Oh!
He might be happy with the hit, though.
There. He threw the hammer there. Oh! That is definitely not good, as this game has taken a turn for the worst.
Like I said, those leg-on-leg hits are not good. They can cause a lot of damage really easily. As someone who's had both of my knees blown out in similar hits. But it looks like no damage here. He's up and going.
And that is a good sight to see. It was Robinson on the receiving end of that blow there.
At the same time, though, a similar hit happens over here. Leg-on-leg trip, no call.
Absolutely.
Hooking in front of the Niagara goaltender, no call. No hooking in front of the Seawolves goaltender, we get a call.
So was that?
I'm just saying, I want consistency.
Well, do you think that was Van de Zilver testing the
I
waters
honestly,
to see if he would get
I
the call
honestly
or not?
think that was Van de Zilver pushing his luck after having a conversation about consistency with the ref. And then saying, yeah, you know what, I'm going to keep pushing until I get called.
Clearly, it did not take long for them to get an arm up in the air. So Stony Brook will attempt to kill off yet another Niagara power play. Clemens awaiting on the far side, has a look in front. This one couldn't be connected home that time. Schneidmiller feeds it over, gets it back. Schneidmiller in front, almost deflected home there by Thurston. Sanders hounded by multiple Seawolves down low as this one gets played back to the point. Room to fire for Schneidmiller. Big block there by the sliding DiStefano. And now we get more rough stuff in front. The captain, Devin Pepe, mixing it up with Devin Sanders, of all players.
Stony Brook knows they got to get something going to get some kind of energy on the bench here. And Stony Brook's not going to take anything from this Niagara team. They got their butts handed to them last night. They don't want a repeat of that, and they want to try to send a message that the shenanigans in front of the net aren't going to be tolerated.
And for Niagara, they want to do whatever they can to avoid the worst-case scenario, and that is playing to their uncharacteristics. They are known to be a very disciplined team when just by the power play percentage, which is the best in the whole ACHA. So,
and here's a break.
So really trying to get after it. 4.5 to go in the first. About a minute left on the man advantage. His latest one for Niagara University. Fancy, 2 goals last night. One of multiple players on his team to go home with a pair. Coulter fires off the mask of Kazakov, and that stops play.
Stony Brook power play definitely, Stony Brook's penalty kill definitely earning their keep tonight as they've been perfect so far. And that includes a 5-on-3 opportunity here for Niagara.
David Christopher on the draw, and he levels Fest to the ice.
Puck gets out though, and that'll probably do it for the Stony Brook penalty.
Back in the zone comes Pearson. Pearson with speed, just missing on that chance. It stays in the zone. Good work by Pearson. Pearson looking for a room to fire. Pearson has space, trying to deliver the blow here. Robinson bunching up in front as Christopher sent it over the net. Stony Brook saucing this one all the way down for icing. Malik was the target in sights, but nowhere to be found was the stick and the puck of number 11.
Well, after a bunch of penalties and power plays and penalty kills and 5-on-3s and scrums, this period is finally starting to get some pace.
I wouldn't get our hopes up yet of this period ending, Trevor. I think we still have a long ways to go. I think this is just the beginning.
Speaking of just the pass. I'm just saying. Trying to speak it into existence.
Yes. Kormanek feathers this one deep in the zone. Lays off throwing the body there as McDermott and the Seawolves keep it alive in Niagara's territory. On the hunt is Minerva. More banging along the boards as this one gets played back to the point. Another chance, McDermott.
Loose puck.
And it's swallowed up carefully by Nyborg.
Nyborg has been pretty good on the rebound control. That was probably one of the big first ones he's let up. He's made one rebound come out to the top of the circle to right in front of us here on the broadcast. But he's been mostly in control this game.
And obviously, when you look at the way Granzel played, you had to wonder if making the switching goal was going to be the right decision. And right now, it's paid off very well for Johan Nyborg and head coach Tom Moradian, who's said a lot of good things about his netminder Nyborg, as this one is stopped in front by Kazakov. It stays loose behind the goal, Up until Stony Brook knocked it off the glass, but not out of the zone. Sanders busting over with a chance. Fadeaway try. And the rebound was swiped out of harm's way, and then it's further cleared out of the zone.
And that one is going to hit a Seawolf on the bench, and we'll bring this one back with 2:02 to go.
More on Johan Nyborg. He's actually coming back from injury, so the numbers he possessed, obviously, incomparable to when you look at Grant Zell's number, but it's because Zell's started the majority of games this season for Niagara. But Johan Nyborg, those numbers that he has right now, you can match it with Zell, as this one is stopped by Kazakov. When you look at the comparisons, he's 4-1, 1.64 goals against average. Yes, you might be thinking low numbers, but performance-wise, it's on par with Grant Zell.
It's good when you have two goaltenders, at least a primary and a secondary, that can both put up similar numbers, because then you pull the goaltender out of your lineup equation.
Sanders letting that one just go over the goal. And this one driven out, carried back in. Dempsey couldn't get a step past his man. As this one is lofted up ahead, it's going to miss everyone, but not go for icing. Clemens sending that one in front, no one home. Taylor trying to get a hold of it. Notched a goal last night in a big way. As this one takes an adventure all the way down in the other zone, no icing. Play stays alive. A little over a minute left in this long and grueling first period. We're enjoying it all the way up here, but I can't say the same for the guys down low.
Well, if you're Stony Brook, you know you're still in this game.
Matt Minerva.
Minerva took a tough one there. Looks like he's okay, though. He's going to stay out.
Obviously, he is one player you want to be very careful with, as he just came back from a crucial lower body injury sustained a couple of weeks, more than a month ago, at home against University of Delaware. And we were on hand to call that game, Trevor.
Yeah, that was a bit of a scary moment.
He was down on the ice for at least 5 minutes up until he was able to get help to his feet. But obviously the damage was done. He missed a lot of games ever since then.
And that was a pretty massive hook there that went uncalled.
Minerva getting it back. He'll try to gallop out of the zone, or he'll throw it off the boards, looking to connect with someone ahead.
No icing.
Is waved off.
Good speed there from the Seawolves.
William Kormanek, now Malik throwing the body. Final 10 seconds. Christopher dancing around Boris, slamming on the brakes. Here's a late man, the trail, Coulter. Buzzer sounds, and that is all for one. After 20 minutes of play, the Niagara University Purple Eagles lead 1-0. And they also lead in shots on goal, 14-9, Schreiber.
And Niagara probably winning in the hits department. We don't track those officially. In the scoring attempt category, they're definitely winning on that side. And Stony Brook they're hanging on. There are glimmers of hope here. There are bright spots in their play. And it's going to come down to whether or not they can crack the defense of this very strong Purple Eagles team.
They certainly have shown a different side to them than what we saw last night. A lot more. I mean, despite the amount of penalties they took so far in this first period.
Yeah, you could even see assistant coach Colin Brumstead here having a conversation here with the entire officiating crew, trying to get an idea of what's going on with the calls here and try to get some consistency.
Well, despite all of that, all of those shenanigans, you got to give credit to Stony Brook. Like, a totally different team in terms of how they performed and how they have kept Niagara on their heels compared to what we saw last night.
Yeah, and anything is better than what happened last night, that's for sure. I think last night, as I said, having the short-term memory. You talk about what you need to talk about in the locker room, and 30 minutes later, all right, what's for breakfast tomorrow?
Exactly, and Matvey Kazakov, a splendid first period. A lot of shots against him, but held his own after 20 minutes of play.
And with that, we'll take a quick break. And we suggest you do the same. Go grab a drink, go grab a snack, and we'll be back in about 14 minutes for the start of the second period here on Stony Brook Hockey.
And we are back just moments away from the second period from getting started, and me and Trevor were joined by some special guests off the air, a few Stony Brook alumni. One of them a member of last year's reigning defending ECHL champion Seawolves, Chucky Peck. Shout out to him.
Always good to hear from the Seawolves in the stands.
Absolutely.
Seawolves got some work to do here in this second period. They got to stay out of the box. They got to keep the pressure on, and they got to find the answer to the question that is the Niagara defense.
Clearly, they have their hands full with that defense. Every time they come into the zone, they always got to be alert. We saw it a handful of times last night along the boards. They're streaking down the ice with speed, and whammo! There's a freight train just waiting in front of you, ready to knock you down. So far, Stony Brook has avoided a lot of those moments, and so we'll just have to see if that plays to their advantage for these next 20 minutes.
Absolutely, and we saw the refs they're calling it tight today, except for when they're not. But it's been mostly tight on the score sheet today, with a lot of penalties to start off this first period. 5-on-3 opportunity thwarted by the Seawolves, and a bunch of power plays that were unfortunately ended very quickly by matching calls.
There's certainly been a lot to take in from that story, and we kind of got a glimpse of some of the conversations afterwards, most notably assistant head coach for Stony Brook having a word with not just one official, but the whole crew. The whole crew.
I had a brief moment to talk with Coach Garofalo about his thoughts on it, and he was pretty much of the idea that they're not hurting us yet, so we're okay.
Everyone all healthy and fully intact. But the question remains, for how long this battle continues to brew. Clemens drops it in. Save made off that shot by Taylor.
And the net is completely off, and we're still playing on.
Drive from the top, caught quickly by Kazakov. No need for the Morans to be fixed. Kazakov will take care of business on his own. But he appreciates the repair anyway.
So does the Stony Brook bench, able to get a line change out, match what Niagara's putting on the ice here.
There's David Christopher, the captain of Niagara, trying to win it back to one of his defensive teammates. Got it back to Davies, switches positions with Pearson. Davies from the top. That one deflects off a stick in front, just missing from getting in for a goal that time. Stony Brook maneuvering back ahead, sliding all the way to the end boards, trying to make a play happen was Boris. He's up back on his feet, or that was Dempsey, pardon me, one of the impending senior graduates. One of 10 impending senior graduates, I must say. This one is knocked off the glass, couldn't be kept alive there in the zone by Fess. And Stony Brook has to backpedal a little bit here. And make no mistake, folks, they're gonna be giving it back in a hurry, and here they come in the zone. The cavalry, Malik couldn't connect there with that chance as the stick of one of the players for trying to get an idea of who broke their stick. I think it was one of Stony Brook's players.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a broken stick indeed. So
the shrapnel was past the side over in front of the Seawolves bench. So all indications point to it belonged to a fellow Seawolf.
Big chunk of the top of that stick flew off, and linesman's picking that up in the corner.
Kozitsky ready to square off here on the draw against Manning as Robinson and Bunn come into the picture trying to make an impact. Kozitsky takes a hold of the opportunity here, accelerating in, pushing this one all the way back down in the other zone. Pomniak taking the task heavily in the end boards by Coulter. Malfetto taps this one in front but couldn't get it on net. Kozitsky keeping it in the zone. Sends this one back down low. Palmiak looking for space. Delivers it back to the point. Van de Zilver fans on the shot. Stays with the possession. Feeds it in front but couldn't connect there. Malfetto with a drive. Just missing the high rising glove of Niagara's netminder Nyborg. As this one is popped out of the zone safely.
Good sequence there for the Seawolves as Niagara's able to get a full change, and Stony Brook is going to turn this one right back.
Slapped in deep again by Rainville, and he'll make a slow return to the bench for a new fresh pair of skaters. Watch out! A mighty collision between Coulter and Matt Minerva. Play continues. The physicality only ramping up as the minutes go by. This one is deflected just wide off a stick in front. DiStefano. Malik takes a hit there, able to stay up on his feet. Kormanek takes chase. Schneidmiller drops it over to Taylor. Taylor takes a bump there from Malik, absorbs the blow. Now he has space to try to turn the tide. That one is knocked out of the zone, and DiStefano and the Seawolves will reset once more. Mancini. Fellow St. Anthony's Friar, who last night won their second consecutive Suffolk County High School Hockey League title. Mancini coughed it up there, but luckily offsides is called against Niagara.
So one of the interesting things that I saw last night, and I wanted to ask you this morning, and we actually ended up having to get a pretty detailed explanation on, is what's going on with the Niagara jerseys?
Well, that's a great question, and you should know that it is all for a very sentimental cause, as the jerseys are worn in memory of Tom Moradian's deceased brother who took his own life. And the jerseys have a slogan on the crest that say "Stay" in remembrance of Moradian's brother. And one could say that goal was for the heavens right there by Devin Sanders to make it 2-0.
Devin Sanders there basically unabated to the net and was able to put that one right up in the top shelf. But these jerseys are they're interesting, as they feature a green and purple color scheme, and it's all for suicide awareness.
Exactly.
So
they have the ribbon too on the shoulders.
Yes.
So
that's a very touching cause and a very good-looking sweater and a better cause.
I was talking with, we were both talking with Coach. You heard me saying I would love to see these jerseys be a permanent third. Well, considering that Stony Brook and Niagara, they're going to be reacquainted for plenty of games next season.
Most certainly. I think they're on the schedule for 6 next year, so I think we'll get to see all 3 sweaters.
I would love to see that indeed. McDermott. So Devin Sanders, his second goal of this matchup. Third of the weekend. He's got 17 on the year. And this is given up in front. Christopher had save. Kazakov. Malfetto. Coulter. This one is sent off the boards all the way down for no icing.
Bit of a question mark call there.
Took me
it was
by
a high stick, waved off, but should have been an icing, and that was also waved off.
Took me by surprise, as this one is poked further ahead. Getting an extra step was Coulter. Ran out of room to try to get a shot off. Indeed it was. Nice feed ahead. So really, toe drag attempt couldn't be executed there. Taylor being hounded. Robinson can't get it out of the zone. DiStefano at the top, keeping it in the zone, swinging that one down low. Rainville plays it back to the point. Mancini, tightrope in the blue line, throws it in front just wide of the net. Rainville side of the net, chance. Whistle blown as the net came off its moorings.
And Niagara will not be able to get a change there as Nyberg was the cause of that one going off. Seawolves finding themselves in another swarming situation here, but unable to find the back of the net.
Kozitsky. Mancini almost getting all of Bunn as Robinson makes his way back in zone across, just missing on the finish was Christopher. David Christopher back on the bench now as Manning returns to the ice.
Almost a miscue on the Niagara bench, costing too many men.
Schneidmiller from the top soars that one over the net. Mancini looking for a target up ahead, banks it off the glass. Rainville perhaps was the option in sight, but couldn't get it that time. Back on the ice comes Fess, Kormanek, Pomniak. And an even battle down low with some of the Niagara players. Pomniak all up in the grill of Schneidmiller, and then Matt Minerva takes a heavy run at Loft.
Not gonna lie, probably should have gone for boarding on that one. But the refs seem to have put the whistles in their pocket to start this period.
Manning tosses this one out of the zone. Didn't make its way fully past the neutral zone as Minerva gets a shot from distance. Gloved there by Nyborg.
Nyborg with an easy grab there with his 10th save of the night. Stony Brook not exactly making it difficult so far.
Now we see.
You definitely see some frustration brewing on the Seawolves side, though.
2-0 the score. But this deficit would make you think otherwise. So this game is not totally out of reach, and the narrative can change. Just have to keep the right mindset intact. Here's a chance, sent wide, rebound off the boards. Minerva can't punch it home on the second try. Band is over, Minerva. And this one is turned over. Andrioli, possible 2-on-1. Got his man in sight. And this one relinquished. Sent ahead, just missing the stick of Barnich, who was awaiting for the feed. As Minerva gets bounced around in front. Minerva in close quarters with Barnich. Can't finish strong there.
And this one's going to be on Niagara.
Yes.
It's going to be a slashing call.
Indeed it will be, as Nyborg nearly fell out of position, sprawling to try to make something happen, keep the Seawolves at bay. Luckily the whistle blew before Stony Brook could get a chance on nets. However,
another great opportunity for the Seawolves, both in generating that power play and in finishing up, just chasing down pucks and trying to create some creative situations here. But without further ado.
Absolutely, and Jesse Edwards will try to create a positive situation here for this latest power play that is brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics, who have been getting their money's worth for the many power play opportunities this weekend that Stony Brook has had against Niagara University. This now their third of the contest. Malfetto gliding along the wing, trying to set something up. Doesn't do it there as this one's cleared immediately by Niagara.
Takes a bit of a funky bounce off the boards there. Comes out to the slot, and Center will slow this one down. Get the change and try again.
DiStefano. Slamming on the brakes. Minerva delays, tried to get it in front, looking for DiStefano, and it got cleared away. The other number 17 doing his part. Watch out here. Kormanek able to brace for impact as Barnich and the Seawolves get back in the zone. Barnich, Kormanek in close proximity of each other. DiStefano at the top. DiStefano, Barnich. Barnich, DiStefano playing catch, shot from the top. Glove down, puck stays loose in front. Minerva able to get it back and keep it in the zone. Malik in the right circle, couldn't pull the trigger there. More bodies banging along the boards. The two 17s continuing to go at it. And things might ignite here. Or they will not. As things momentarily settle down. Because Kazakov has the puck.
Kazakov just skies it out.
Wow.
We have a delayed penalty here on Niagara.
Davies.
And back to the power play the Seawolves go. And it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. The referee clearly not happy with what was said.
Tom Moradian wants a further explanation as to why the penalty was called. Don't think he will get one, unfortunately. Manning to the box. And perhaps the penalty was called when the gathering happened inside the Seawolf zone. Everyone was throwing hits against each other along the glass. Then I saw Minerva get a face-up against Manning. Manning must have gave him an extra shot or something, and that obviously caught the attention of the officials.
What's crazy is we have 4 referees on the ice, and it's like the 3rd massive face-off violation Niagara's gotten away with.
4th power play of the contest for Stony Brook. Another power play brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics.
Yeah, Stony Brook Orthopedic Associates definitely happy with that last power play that went all the way and Stony Brook didn't take a penalty.
Yeah. Edwards backs it to Malfetto, who gets it over to Boris from the top. Just wide net, rebound off the boards.
And that one goes off the side of the net.
Steinmiller finished strong against his man. Closing in with chance, Dempsey, as this one trickles off a body in front. Dempsey has to move over to a new location to try to get a hold of the possession. Everyone converging in the corner. Seawolves trying to come up with it as they continue the quarrel inside the zone. Cirilli rushing on over with a head full of steam, keeps it alive for Stony Brook. Play back to the point. Malfetto controlling. Malfetto protecting. Malfetto slamming on the brakes, looking for a man to get it over to. Finds Pepe. Pepe controlling. Pepe feeds it in front. Cirilli. It got blocked off a leg there. That was Thurston providing the defensive play. Another chance, centering feed, wouldn't go, rebound. It squeaks wide off the pad of Nyborg.
There was a massive stick hold there in front of the net there.
Pepe deals it in front. Boris just missed on the slapper. And here comes Sanders walking in. What a stop with the noggin by Matvey Kazakov. And things erupt in the zone. Jesse Edwards mixing it up.
Stony Brook not happy. A lot of angry faces on that bench as the golden opportunity in front of the net was stymied by holding the stick call that went unseen.
I counted at least 5 or 6 scoring chances almost going Stony Brook's way, and the last one probably the closest they have come to scoring on the power play.
Yeah, considering what they've been calling today, I'm surprised we got no calls on that.
Marvelous job by Matvey Kazakov, channeling his inner Henrik Lundqvist, headbutting the puck out of harm's way. When in doubt, you got to use your noggin. And
what a hit there.
Yeah. Andrioli going head over heel, or taking for a ride as DiStefano walks back in, avoids disaster there as he turned his back at the right moment. This one couldn't be cleared away. Minerva and the Seawolves staying on the attack. Minerva sending that one wide. He takes a heavy hit after the release of the shot from Stefano. Bumped off there by Andrioli. Minerva putting his man in the rinse cycle. Twisted in front, just getting a piece of Cormanek, who couldn't get a shot off that time. Oh, Minerva hit from behind.
He's going to draw one there. Straight to the numbers. And that'll get you one every time.
Coulter looks to be the one that's being headed to the box.
Not happy with the call, but he took a shot straight to the numbers. So.
Oh, Manning. Well, that wasn't good there. Manning exchanging words with the whole Stony Brook bench as he was skating by, heading off the ice. So obviously the animosity has not died down one bit. This one is cleared away immediately.
The penalty hasn't gone up on the board yet. The time of the penalty was 6:38.
I knew there was something missing. I just couldn't wrap my tongue around it, wrap my finger around it. But nevertheless, Stony Brook Orthopedics getting
the exact same check, and that one goes uncalled.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, Trevor. Watch out, Boris exacting some revenge against Thurston, and he is seeing red. And can you blame him?
No, not
and
that's an elbow and a slash, and man, the wheels are falling off the bandwagon on this one, folks.
Thurston out for blood, throwing hits in all locations on the ice, as this one nearly gets deflected home in front by Campbell.
And Peterkin is getting it from Coach Garofalo.
Spencer Boris, luckily, is okay. But wow, the intensity spiking up rapidly.
All right. We're waiting on the scoreboard to be fixed here. 6:38 was the time of the penalty. We have a minute. I guess we get a couple bonus seconds.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I'm sure this is going to be an interesting chat
and
over.
The referees are getting it from both coaches, and I'm going to be honest, I'm here for it. They both have a lot to be angry about tonight because this has been pretty abysmal of a call.
I can already tell this is going to be at the top of the discussion between
I don't know
the
what
two coaches
we're
next
dropping,
time when they go to
we
dinner.
are dropping the puck, and the referees aren't even ready. What is going on tonight, folks?
Crazy things happen
One
on
team.
Long Island.
And there's only 4 of you.
I'm at a loss of words, Trevor. I don't know. Oh! Puck stays in the zone. DiStefano, Barnage, blocked in front there.
And this
Davies.
is... Oh, that was almost a 2-on-0.
Rushing back, Malik! Big pad save by Kazakov. Stony Brook, half a minute left on the man advantage. Can they strike? Malik denied. Rebound, tied up in front was Cormanek. Over it goes. Minerva on the far wing, just couldn't get a hold of the feed.
Good keep there, keeps the action alive in the zone with 17 on the penalty kill.
Stony Brook staying relentless in their pursuit of getting on the board for the first time today. This one will skip out of the zone and it may result in a 2-on-1 chance, and it does. And Trioli charging to the goal, can't get a piece of it. It's a ricochet off a leg in front. And another penalty is called.
Holding. And to no surprise, it's against Niagara.
At this rate, we're going to be calling penalties, and we're going to be in sync every time when we say it.
All right, we'll try this one here. This is the Stony Brook Orthopedics Associates Power Play. And this time they get the graphic up for the full 2 minutes.
Yes, indeed. Power play number 5 about to begin. Malfetto from the top, blocked in front. As I believe that was Zerilli who got knocked down in front. Yeah, it was Zerilli. In a tight battle as he lays off the hit there. Stony Brook will regroup as they start the first 30 seconds without generating a chance here on the man advantage. This latest one, now we get another whistle, bringing the face-off draw all the way back in Niagara zone.
He'll just go right outside the zone. Looks like he went into the bench, so. Or ricocheted off a player on the bench. Either way, stoppage, full line changes for all, and we'll drop the puck again. But Stony Brook, you don't get handed these many gifts in a game typically.
Oh, not at all.
And the fact they're still down in the shots on goal category is a little concerning here, but wait a minute.
Malik. Can't count out the Seawolves just yet.
Ooh.
Malik.
A bit of a swing and miss of a stick there.
Spring training is just around the corner. Barnich playing catch at the top to Stefano. Gonna bang that one that time. Barnich gonna keep this one in the zone. Nice job there by number 91. And another good job by number 91 of Barnich, keeping it alive before Stony Brook has to backtrack. Watch out.
That one was a laser right into the penalty box. Now, there was some meaning behind that or not, but probably not.
I hope not.
just a shotgun awry. We just call those coincidences.
Yes.
That's why they wear their pads in the box.
Absolutely.
Linesman probably reminding them you got to be wearing your helmets.
Ooh! Big chance denied off the pad of Nyborg. As this one is cleared out yet again. Malfetto. And tried to softly get by, couldn't do it there that time. Edwards and the Seawolves resetting once again. Down to their final 15 seconds on the power play. Malfetto fires. Save made by Nyborg. Staying alive. Forrest from the top. Ricocheting off. Sticks in front. And it comes wide of the net. Late man into the picture. Clemens. We're back to 5-on-5.
Fire drill in front of the Seawolves bench as they get a full change.
Stop, drop, and roll. Boris. Van de Zilver. This one is sent across wildly as it misses the stick of Rainville. Watch out! Person bracing for impact. Sanders keeping it in the zone. Gets it to the far side. Clemens lost it there. Pick-off play made by Pontiac. Great job defending his position by Clemens to keep the Seawolves at bay.
Clemens with a great play there to stop the 2-on-1 here.
And here's Clemens again with another chance. That one gets a piece of Kazakov that time. Van de Zilver, a minute and a half to go here in the second. Shots on goal, 21-18, Niagara University. Lofted ahead. Knocked down off the stick of Clemens. Van de Zilver escaping some damage along the wall. McDermott, this one bounces off a few skates. Coulter swings it ahead, but it's intercepted by Van de Zilver. Final minute of the second commences. Tellifer pinned up against the boards. Everyone coming over and getting reacquainted all over again. The race is on here. Mancini able to win that race with ease, but Andrioli stays on his tail. Nice pass in front. Pad save and a beauty by Kazakov. Stony Brook gonna waft this one out of the zone, and they're gonna benefit from it. Zerilli can't pull the trigger there. Numerous bodies almost ending in casualties as Mancini throws it on net. That bounces off the mask of Nyborg. Oh, that's
a bad penalty there for the Seawolves to take.
Not the time.
And Zerilli is going to get nailed for the slash across the shins of the Niagara defense.
Not the time and place, especially when you have Niagara within reach. So they'll begin, most likely, this third period on the penalty kill, as there's only 4.5 seconds left on the clock here in the second.
Well, we're not out of the period yet, so.
That is true. Face-off draw inside the Seawolves zone.
In the corner, and that should do it.
Buzzer sounds, and after two, Niagara University leads 2-0. Trevor, impressions on the second period?
I gotta say, if you're a Seawolf fan, you mostly like what you saw out there. A team that stayed mostly disciplined, let Niagara sink themselves with penalties, and but you're also seeing the frustration out there. Stony Brook has been unable to crack the nut that is the Niagara defense. They've been absolutely brilliant in blocking shots, blocking passing lanes, forcing shots on goal to come from unoptimized areas, and you let one up in the period on basically a broken play coming the other way.
Well, we saw how the second period ended with really taking the penalty. So if you're on Stony Brook, how do you, in every way possible, stay composed in a game that's so heated but so close within reach?
And again, conversations happening with the officiating crew after the period. Both coaches and the assistant captain having some conversations, again, trying to just get an idea of what the expectation is going into this third period, which is looking a lot more important than last night's.
And that's another factor you add into the question. How do you stay composed when pretty much all the odds are being stacked against you? The way the game is being, the pacing of the game, the physicality, being down 2-0, and trying to avoid taking these penalties. How do you keep your composure in such a game this heated?
The first step is you gotta remember that you're a part of the game. You are not the game. So as a player, you have to keep reminding yourself that you are only a small component of the game you're playing, and that you have to put the team in front of you, and every action you take has to be team first.
And each and every one of those small components builds up to one whole energy field. We'll just have to wait and see which team exemplifies that, as this intermission is underway, and we'll be back for the third period right here at the rinks. And we are back as the third period, just moments away from starting up. As the two teams, at least one of them, makes their way onto the ice, gearing up for what should be an exhilarating 20 minutes. As Stony Brook finds themselves trailing behind 2-0. And Trevor, there is a lot to definitely wonder as to how this one is going to go.
Yeah, it's been a game so far. Stony Brook has found themselves close so many times, and they just haven't found a way to get one into the back of the net. They've had tons of power play opportunities. They've been solid on the PK when they've been asked to, and they have themselves quite a bit of a struggle here as they're going to be starting this third period here on the PK.
That's true, yeah.
I don't see the penalty up on the board, but I know Zarelli did take one at the end of the period.
Yes, it was the splash, and that was a big talking point. We left off the intermission as one of the big hurdles Stony Brook is going to have to try to jump over is staying composed, especially in the heat of this battle. Especially in the heat of this battle with the way this game has turned out. Still just a minute, a little under 2 minutes left on the man advantage. Literally just started.
Minute 56.
Yes. It literally just began by the time the second period came to a close. The keys are in the ignition and the engines are fired up all over again. Third period underway.
Good Daytona 500 reference there.
I've been waiting to say something, make a mention of that.
Just had to say, gentlemen, start your engines.
Could have went with that too.
Although we'd be a little late on that one because we're in the third period.
Exactly.
We're in the third competition caution.
Third period indeed. And if you're comparing this to the Daytona 500, this is probably where things will start to get dicey. Where the game starts to get more intense. The drama begins to elevate as the minutes go by. Schneidmiller throws it in front. That one just gets a piece of, that was the forward, number 23, the man with 2 goals so far, both of them for Niagara, Devin Sanders. As this one is knocked out of harm's way. Stony Brook doing their part so far early, getting these quick clears.
Absolutely, and Niagara taking their time here, getting the right guys on the ice and slowly progressing up.
Oh, that one gets fanned on by Coulter, but he maintains control of it, but cannot connect with the target in sight, which was Fancy as the feed got away from number 93. Here's Barnage back ahead in the zone from distance. That one hits off the mask of Nyborg.
Nyborg might want to check his helmet there because I definitely heard some rattling there off that shot.
Could have possibly loosened the belt buckle or the strings and keep the goalie mask attached to his
The referee
head.
actually went over just to make sure that he was good to go.
It seems like all parties are safe, and here's Pearson back in the zone, challenged there by McDermott as Cormanick tries to take it away from Niagara. Robinson, quick puck movement being worked there, but Stony Brook able to keep him out. Fancy taking this one back in the zone. Drops it over to the near man, but it's turned over. Cormanick fires, and it's stopped by Nyborg.
And Nyborg again, perfect on the day so far. That is shot on goal number 21.
Now this is exactly where Stony Brook was last night. Trailing, although they were entering the third period trailing 3-0. They finally got on the board just minutes into the third before things unraveled for them. And here they are, just within 2 goals of changing the course of direction in this contest.
And one of the things that we were talking with the Niagara coach was not to underestimate this team, and it's very clear Stony Brook has come to play today and play a lot stronger than they did last night, at least up until this point. Kept all the metrics close so far.
They definitely have, Trevor, despite the penalties, the numerous penalties that they've taken in this contest. As Robinson throws this one on goal, save made by Kazakov, rebound, score.
Kazakov, unfortunately, not able to corral the rebound, and the Stony Brook defense basically leaving him out to dry.
Third of the weekend for David Bunn. He had a 2-goal game last night, and here today he picks up the third of the game for Niagara.
And those are goals you look at, and they're going to be they'll go do the tape review during the week and say, all right, guys, what happened? And I would bet you dollars to donuts, everybody in that room will say exactly what happened, and they'll be completely right.
And this is a tough pill to bite because this is the second goal today that Stony Brook has allowed on the rebounds. Sanders kicked off the party with the early going of this contest, and this one coming at the expense of his teammate. That man, number 9, pinning his man up against the boards, Bunn. Watch out here, Stony Brook coming in close, and now we get some liberties being taken from both players.
Now, that one thankfully diffused quickly, and we'll get some changes and face it off in the Niagara zone. And it's a gut punch for the Seawolves. They were looking reasonably good in this game, and just let up a pretty bad defensive breakdown goal.
Well, it's not over yet. Still a lot of time for them to get on the board, and
a 3-goal lead in ACHA hockey is nothing. And that is to say that things can change very quickly.
Absolutely. And the last time we were broadcasting a game together, Trevor, Stony Brook generated a big comeback when it seemed like Drexel had the victory in the bag.
That's why we're not calling this one over yet.
Absolutely. Sanders on net. That one couldn't squeak past the pad of Kazakov. Sanders trying to work his way in front, lost it to Edwards. As Pepe and the Seawolves trying to transition out of the zone. This one gets thrown in front, intercepted again by Mancini, and it backhands off the glass, but can't get it out of the zone. Second try, not a third, yes, as Edwards carries this one back in the other way. Jesse Edwards, toe drag maneuver, able to make his way deep in the zone, drive in front, save, rebound, score! The senior, Robert DiStefano.
And that's a big one there. Puts Stony Brook on the board here. And this rink has exploded. Perfect game there for Niagara. Ends at 23 shots on goal.
Has been out of action for the better part of the past month due to a lower body injury. But he has made his presence felt here on Senior Day.
That's a big one. That's cleaning up rebounds, and Stony Brook has had those opportunities and those looks, and finally one of them connects. Now the key is to hold off this Niagara team on the revenge shifts.
Taking a page out of the Purple Eagles' playbook, catching in on rebounds. This one is denied in front by Kazakov.
Kazakov just needs to know that he needs to hope that his team's going to be there in front of him to clear out those rebounds and clear out those Purple Eagles.
David Christopher going up against Dempsey on the draw there. And Dempsey runs into traffic. Kowinski stumbling after getting the shot off. as this one gets flung in deep by the Seawolves. Dempsey. Minerva back on the ice. Minerva! Watch out. Runs over his man. Beats it in front. Kormanek. Puck tied up in between his skates.
Minerva came in like a freight train on the rails.
Minerva tried to finagle his way around the defenseman. This allows Niagara to make their presence felt back in the zone before Stony Brook steals it back. Here's Robert DiStefano once more. DiStefano from distance. Save made by Nyborg, who holds up.
Stony Brook with a little bit of energy here, a little bit of a pop after the goal, and Niagara's got to be careful. They might find themselves on the back foot. We got a little bit of UBS Arena bleeding in here.
The organ is playing, the music is bumping. Wouldn't even know if it was UBS Arena or not.
Well, he's saying that because that was the Let's Go Islanders organ.
Let's Go Seawolves, more like it.
You need a 2-syllable organ. You got to get the Rangers organ for that one.
Why does it have to be the Rangers?
Listen, I'm just going to say, despite this being an Islanders-affiliated facility with the Junior Islanders playing out of it, you'll hear the Rangers goal horn go off more for Islanders teams than the Islanders goal horn.
I know. That's
and I've always found it weird.
It is weird. Even weird, especially when you see Smithtown Hauppauge play their high school games. A bunch of the players on the Junior Islanders, because Smithtown Hauppauge, they have the Ranger colors.
Oh, that's always a fun color combination.
Always a fun little tidbit, messing with the Ranger and Islander fans.
Well, tonight we're Seawolves fans.
Exactly. Bleeding red and white on this very Sunday, February 19th of 2023. Lofted in deep and quickly held up by Nyborg.
Nyborg had to catch a tricky one there. That was a bouncer on net. That ended up in a rebound. There were 2 Seawolves ready to pounce on it. And maybe this is a shift in strategy. Maybe this is just some observations. And could be the coaching staff of Stony Brook saying, all right, guys, we might have an opportunity here if we alter our strategy a little bit.
Well, the man that has brought his team to life is on the ice right now, Robert DiStefano. And here's another chance. Trickling off a leg in front. Pepe gathers it along the wall, takes a hit there. Edwards almost pokes that one on net as Boris has to rush on over to keep it in the zone at the top. Barnich pinching in there to keep it in the corner for the Seawolves as Edwards gets it back to the point. Boris from the top, just wide. Rebound off the boards, and it couldn't be slammed home that time by Edwards.
Seawolves fans liking the pressure here as we get ever so closer to the midpoint of the third period. Stony Brook only 1 shot on goal behind here, 26-27 is the total.
And what's even better for Stony Brook, I think, fittingly, especially on senior day, they got the whole alumni right in front of them watching along the glass. They got the best seat in the house. I see Dominic Slevin, Chuck Peck, Brendan Pepe, former members of last year's ECHL championship team. Some extra motivation added to this group in front of us who is trying to come back from a 2-goal deficit, or what was once a 3-goal deficit. Here they are, trying to erase all of that and make it part of the past. Pepe. Barnich taps that one on net, stopped by Nyborg. Everyone jostling behind the net, looking to get a hold of the possession. Edwards able to get it over to Pepe, who deals it back to Boris. Boris delays, fires, blocked in front. It stays in the zone. Well, now
Stony Brook's going to get a change here, or try to at least.
Yeah, Barnich was out of breath, and now we get another penalty. Stony Brook back to the box, tripping.
Not exactly the play you want to make there, and unfortunately for Stony Brook, might kill some crucial momentum as they'll now have to play some big defense for 2 minutes.
Crucial is it going to be a momentum killer, or with the way this weekend has gone, or will it be a big reward? Will it be a big reward, Trevor? Because Niagara has yet to convert on the power play.
Oh, that's why when I talked to Coach Garofalo between the first and second, he said, I'm okay with it because it's not hurting us when I asked him about the penalties.
So DiStefano in the box as Pearson.
Oh, Stony Brook's going to go down two.
Back penalties. High
and
sticking.
that's just undisciplined stick maneuvering.
Dempsey got Pearson up high. Saw it right in front of us.
Probably the easiest call of the night by a long shot.
And just like that, adversity stands in the face of the Seawolves.
Well, that'll kill at least 15 seconds, but they got a minute 30 more of 5-on-3 play to kill off.
Seems more like over 3 minutes if you combine both times together.
Well, thankfully they could run concurrently, so Stony Brook can get back to 5-a-side before that.
Pearson, Coulter across, slap feed over to Christopher. Pearson again, far side score.
And there it is. Niagara cashing in finally.
Lucas Fancy. 2 goals last night, 1 goal today.
And that's, you have a conversation with your team, and it's all about you got to do the plays to put the team first, and taking a high sticking penalty, taking a lazy trip. Those are penalties that are going to cost you, and it just might be costing Stony Brook an opportunity to get back into this game.
10th goal in his 28th game of the season for Fancy. And no fancy maneuvers were required there.
Just good puck movement.
To get the goal, yeah. Fittingly, it was fancy puck work. Got it around quickly to the guy Fancy, who ended up being the finishing guy to get the latest goal for Niagara.
I was able to find short side on Kazakov, and
there it is again, another short side option. But it wouldn't go that time for Clemens. Big drive from the top, denied, rebound, multiple whacks in front. Another chance from the top, pad save, Kazakov. Traffic continuing to build up and grow in the goal mouth, and finally play stops as Matvey Kazakov lost his mask.
Yeah, Kazakov had a loose mask there. He was trying to flag the referee and then just said, I was just going to throw it off because.
And with that, there's half a minute left on the penalty to Dempsey.
All right, mask back on. Everything looks like it's in order.
Fedo lofting this one out for a safe clear. Nyborg electing not to play it as Schneidmiller and the Purple Eagles will reset. Busting in. Sanders can't finish strong on the backhand that time. Schneidmiller bracing for the hit there, staying on his feet. Schneidmiller at the top. Clemens controlling, playing catch with Schneidmiller. Schneidmiller faking the drive, delaying, firing. Good save made by Kazakov with the knob of his stick.
And Kazakov was able to at least get the Seawolves out of that 5-on-3, only letting up 1 goal. The Seawolves now again with a 3-goal mountain to climb.
A.J. Campbell back on the ice. Haven't heard a lot from him this weekend. Making his 19th appearance for the Purple Eagles this season. Oh man, things are getting rough behind the net as Matt Minerva found himself exchanging with a few players on the back end in the Purple Eagle zone.
Minerva's going to look to mix it up a little bit, that's for
Yep.
sure.
Hope the officials are ready. Watch out, oh. Rebound off the glass. Almost got punched. Oh! Breakaway chance. Just soared over the nets. That time of Porterfield. Scored top shelf last night, just missed there.
I think Kazakov might have caught a piece of that as it was going over the net.
Nice play there by Kormanek. Able to cancel that away. And Minerva.
And Minerva's going to go for a trip.
Person exchanging some words as Minerva heads to the box. 2 minutes again to the Seawolves.
Penalties here, unfortunately, might spell the end of today's comeback opportunity. And quite the shame for the Seawolves, because they had plenty of opportunity in the second period on power plays that just went unanswered, and they got a really good goal here in the third to open the scoring, but
Sanders on the tie-up, able to get the shot off after winning the draw. But Stony Brook coming up with a quick clear, and Niagara will reset. Sanders accelerating back in the zone. Hot on the gas. Sanders slamming on the brakes as Van de Zilver was ready to clean him out behind the goal. Sanders, or that was Thurston, pardon me. Sanders back to Schneidmiller. Clemens deals it over. Schneidmiller one-timer, blocked in front by Kazakov. Van de Zilver twisting out of control there, trying to clear it out of the zone, but to no avail. Schneidmiller playing catch at the top, sends that one wide. Rebound bouncing off the glass, and a whistle blown. We'll see for what reason. And net repairs.
the net's not even off. They let one go down the other end. Kazakov had like 2-3 inches off the net there. He said, yeah, sure, let the play continue.
I guess it's that kind of day in the office.
Most certainly. Whose rule book is it anyway?
Hey, not my job to say anything. I'm staying in my lane.
That's fine. You could direct the hate mail towards me.
Fancy on the draw with Christopher and Robinson and manning the offense, while Person Coulter positioned at the top. Coulter sending that one wildly over the nets. And Stony Brook trying to prevail here, almost digging that one over out of the zone was Edwards. Stony Brook in trouble to find themselves in front, score. 5-1.
Now, this is almost like a repeat of yesterday, where the effort.
And I believe someone is.
Di Stefano said
sent
something to
home
Peterkin,
early.
probably something along the lines of, "Man, I think I've seen blind people call better hockey games than you." And I'd be with them, because the calls tonight have been absolutely atrocious on both sides of the puck. I'm not trying to say that Stony Brook is the victim here. I'm saying that this officiating crew has been missing things on both sides of the ice here, and this officiating crew has the ego at this point to not even admit mistakes at this point.
So Robert Di Stefano going to get a head start to the showers, unfortunately. Second player this weekend to be hit with a 10-minute misconduct or game misconduct, whatever you want to call it.
I honestly haven't seen a referee crew phone it in harder than this crew tonight.
curious to know, Trevor, have you, in all of your years broadcasting for Stony Brook, has there been ever a time where a head coach was assessed a bench game misconduct?
Yes, and they actually can't do it. At least from what I've been told, is you can't throw the coach out.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's been done before.
But not in the ACHA?
It's happened here, and then at some point the referee had to actually let the coach back onto the bench. It happened in a USPHL game where they tried to throw the coach out,
oh my gosh.
and they realized they can't. And Niagara's going to go right back on the power play here as a bench minor has been called here. And now Stony Brook is just absolutely playing games with the officiating staff here. I don't blame them.
See, I'm just wondering, is there a limit that you can take the officials if you're a head coach before they decide, hey, I've had enough, you're out?
Just remember, the home team pays the officials.
So really? So serving the bench minor, I believe that's Kozitsky, number 70. Because there's no number on the regular scoreboard here due to it being a team penalty. Thurston. Clemens. Bend is over. Ooh. Takes a run at Clemens, and he's tied up with Clemens. Oh, man. Oh, then things are about to get nasty in front.
Oh, yeah, because the referees have completely have just decided not to call penalties.
Oh.
A little bit of a stick holding, a little jostling. Now you get referees saying, oh, you can't call everything. Well, you either got to call it all or you don't call it. And when you're inconsistent, this is what you get. And of course, they're humans.
Yeah.
They're not
perfect.
Course. But some of the mistakes tonight by this crew are inexcusable.
Of course. Person. In front, Christopher. Robinson. Oh.
That's just disrespectful.
Yeah. Insult to injury. More insults.
Yeah, try to pull the Michigan off.
It's funny. I never liked the name of people calling it the Michigan. I usually just say it's the lacrosse maneuver because just calling it the Michigan sounds kind of stupid. It's very simple, very unoriginal. It's like, yes, I understand the origin of who created it, of course, because it came from Mike Legg, University of Michigan player, but still. Just call it the lacrosse goal or lacrosse maneuver.
Nah, it will forever. That's a Michigan.
Ugh. Maybe it's my disdain for the Wolverines culture. I got a few cousins that are Buckeyes, so.
That'll do.
Yep.
And with that, the bench minor finally cleared off here. We get back to five-a-side hockey for hopefully the remaining 4:29 to go in this game. Two men in stripes on the ice here, drawing the ire of both benches, and probably watching themselves on the handshake line for various comments flung their way.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. Oh, man. Weak feet ahead, Greg Barnich. Drops in the trail, Cormick! Glove save and a beauty by Nyborg.
And Nyborg with one blemish on the record today, 27 of 28 tonight.
So obviously the change in goal did not take a hit for Niagara University one bit. This one is played across. Schneidmiller busting in the zone. Nice dangle, almost connecting across, but the target in sight, which was Gilbert's. As this one gets played off the boards, Barnage looking to steal it back. Here's Fess, angling it over to Barnage. Barnage walking in the zone, couldn't get it over in time to his man. Van de Silva rushing over to keep it alive and getting a shot off that's stopped by Nyborg, which stops play.
Nyborg almost let that one up as a rebound, but was able to corral that one masterfully.
A craftsman, one could say, Nyborg is. Robinson, save Kazakov. Tomiak gonna get an extra step here, accelerating in with a shot. It caroms off a stick and over to the other side. Back the other way comes Bunn. I lost control of it there.
Down to 3 minutes.
Edwards. Molfetto. Able to get away from pressure there, but still.
And he gets hooked and no call.
David Christopher on his back there. Edwards skies this one deep into the zone. Cormanac on the hunt. Tomiak pinned up against the boards. One of the pending senior graduate student, actually. Pontiac has that chance, just could not convert there for Stony Brook. Fancy from distance, save Kazakov, and play stops.
And Kazakov here, definitely not the day in the office he was expecting. Not the day in the office he was expecting this weekend, and defense is definitely a major component of the game. I mean, I gotta say, better tonight than last night, but only by minor margins. And when you're dropping a deficit of 10-1 to 5-1, it's still a lot of work to be done.
But also a lot of that a lot of that derives from the amount of injuries this team has sustained.
Oh, absolutely.
They took so many injuries to a point where you bring in new guys to the mix, so then it's, once you got your healthy guys all back in the lineup, then it's kind of starting from scratch, building things all over again. And then all of a sudden, the chemistry you once had, all of a sudden, it's just not there.
Of course. But some of these, a lot of these mistakes that are happening tonight aren't, I wouldn't call them chemistry issues. I wouldn't call them issues with conditioning. It's hockey IQ issues. It's not being in the right place at the right time. And tonight we saw some 200 IQ plays. We saw some great plays on both sides of the puck of what happens when you are in the right place at the right time. Niagara multiple times on break-ins, putting pucks where the Seawolves aren't and winning puck battles. You had the Seawolves with their goal being in the right place at the right time on a rebound.
There's a man with amazing hockey IQ. It's number 23 on the ice for Niagara. He's found himself in the right spots at the perfect times.
Just like Pepe there.
Puck is bouncing around all over the zone as Clemens able to knife this one away from center ice and into familiar territory as Boris fights off his attacker, Sanders. Sanders taking a few sticks right there on the pad. It's by Fess. This one gets set on over to Rita. More battling in front as this one forced wide by Dempsey, nearly got taken away by Clemens as really can't clear it out. Stony Brook not going to pick up the win, but we'll try to leave a lasting impression on everyone who joined them here today for senior night.
Absolutely, and while this is not the result Stony Brook wanted for senior night, it's a better result than yesterday. And as a team that's kind of been facing a lot of adversity roster-wise, bouncing back, and we're going to really get a penalty call with 5 seconds left.
Matt Minerva.
Looks like it's going to be Zarilli.
Oof.
Is it Zarilli or is it Minerva? Who are they taking?
I think it's Minerva. Chris Garofalo trying to.
There's 3.8 seconds left.
Good job by Chris Garofalo trying to keep cooler heads with his players and the officials, because obviously there's going to be a lot of things being directed towards their way. And there's the final buzzer. Niagara University sweeps Stony Brook on Long Island. Last night 10-1, today 5-1.
A rough day in the office for the Seawolves, a rough day in the office for the Stripes, and a good weekend for the Purple Eagles, who come out of Long Island with 2 big wins to help push them up forward on the national ranking and for the ESCHL rankings. So they're fighting Pittsburgh for that #1 bid, and Pittsburgh will come pay a visit to the Seawolves next week to see if they can extend the lead in the division, and the Seawolves will do what they can to prevent it.
However, that game's taking place at Dix Hills Ice Rink, now newly renamed Clark Gillies Memorial Ice Center, because of the ongoing renovations and long overdue refurbishment of this facility here in Hauppauge, New York.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what the rinks looks like once they get the ice put back together. New boards, same glass, and a whole bunch of new ice, that's for sure.
Let's just hope the Wi-Fi works in our own abilities.
Well, we didn't get any word that they were going to do Wi-Fi renovations, so. A lot of jawing happening between the teams as they leave the ice here, as teams are not willing to let bygones be bygones. They'll be seeing each other up in the ESCHL playoffs if the stars align.
Not to mention a lot more chapters along the way next season when these two teams play each other head-to-head 4 times.
Absolutely, and I think that's going to do it for coverage today here, folks, from the rinks in Hauppauge for the last time this season. I'm Trevor Miani and Michael Calandra here, and we'll see you around.